Hello folks, I'm here with another art lesson. So I've been practicing learning how to draw cute little cartoon monster guys, and I thought you might want to join me in that. So for this work, you need a writing utensil. I'm using a pretty thick pen. This pen is a 08 of the fancy pens, so I'm going to draw a line. You can see how thick the lines are that it makes. It's about the same as a not very sharpened pencil. So a not very sharpened pencil might be a nice choice for this. I've found that, in my opinion, for some reason, this work looks better with a thicker pen or pencil rather than a really fine point one. So to start with, you just need to make some lines across your page. You can make them about an inch apart. It's about this much, but it doesn't really matter if they're more or less. If you want them to be straight, grab a ruler or something similar. I don't have a ruler on hand, so I'm going to use the edge of my journal because that works just fine. So we're going to make a line, go down a bit, make another line, go down a bit, make another line. I'm going to stop right there, but you could go all the way down the page if you wanted. My lines aren't perfect at all, and that doesn't matter. Next, you're going to create yourself some little blob people to do your doodles in. So just to give you a little preview, here's some of my guys. Notice that some are small, some are big, some are medium, but they're all just blobs. So let's blob it up in here. I've got my blobs touching. Every once in a while, I put a blob that's definitely behind the blob next to it. Doesn't matter. You're just kind of setting up yourself like a little practice art gallery to do faces. Now, I decided after practicing some that I wanted a page that showed a whole bunch of different eyes. So I made this page that showed all different eyes. And I decided that I wanted a page that showed just mouths. So I have a page with all different types of mouths where I did mostly the same eyes so they wouldn't be standing out. And then I made a page where I just doodled like crazy. You can start by making yourself a plan ideas page like I did with the eyes and the mouths if you want, or if you want to just get straight into doing little doodling, you can. Whatever works for you is fine. Some of them you'll probably like and some you probably won't, and it doesn't matter. Just keep doodling. It gets easier as you go and it's kind of fun. For instance, this is my least favorite one on this page, but that's fine. He can still hang. He's not awful. I think my most favorite one this second is this one. He just looks cross in a really funny way. And I like how his eyes ended up not symmetrical. They don't look the same on both sides. I think it kind of makes them look cute. All right, so bringing it back in. For these cute little monsters, think of either giving them fancy eyes and a simple mouth, or a simple mouth and fancy eyes. If you do both things fancy, both fancy eyes and a fancy mouth, it can make their face look a little too crowded. You can also do both simple, and that will look okay. So for eyes, let's start with ones that are just a line. You can do a little upside down U. You can do a right side up U. You can make your U's shallow like that, or deep like that. You can do a straight line. You can do a sideways V, or the lesser than greater than arrows. You can do the sideways V with a center line, which kind of makes them look like they're squinting a little bit to me. That's how I picture it. You can do two little lines on top of each other. You can do X's, which is generally what you do in a little cartoon creature if you want it to be dead or unconscious, but you could use it for other things too. Let's look at my ideas. Did I miss any that I love? Oh, you can do the slanty lines like this, which tends to look sad, or you can do the slanty lines like this, which tends to look angry. All of those were made with just lines, not even any dots. And you can mix them together to create winks and things. So you could have one eye that's regular and one eye that's like that. All of those ideas are pretty simple. So for these ones, you could use a fancy mouth, or a plain mouth, and it would look okay either way. I think that I'm actually going to stop with just the plain stick eyes for today, because when I was practicing, I liked having them divided up. So I think we'll just have more lessons on this idea than I was originally planning with the one. Here's one more that I found that Sometimes I like how it turns out, and sometimes I don't. But you could try that one if you like. And then here, I'm just going to do a couple random ones. How about a swirl? Looks like maybe they're dizzy or have been hypnotized. And how about a heart? Those ones are a little bit fancier. You'd probably want to do those last two with a simple mouth. Now, what's crazy about the mouth is depending on how high up or how low down in the face you put it, your creature can have a very different expression. So down here on the bottom, I'm going to add us a line and 3 little blobs. This is like an experiment. Let's do the exact same eyes, or as close as I can get to the exact same eyes. And now let's take a mouth and put it in different places just to test how it changes the look of the face. You can put the mouth right in between the eyes. You see that a lot in things that are designed to be kind of like cute and obviously not realistic since mouths don't go between eyes, but none of this is realistic. They're blobs with hearts for eyes, for Pete's sake, people. You can make it a wee bit below the eyes. You can make it way down below the eyes. With the exact same shapes, you can have 3 different feelings. Maybe you want to look at those and think about, what does it feel like these are conveying? What emotions would these little monster blob people be having? To me, this one looks really sleepy. This one looks sleepy, but maybe not quite as much. And this one to me looks kind of like sleepy annoyed. I think maybe because the line has a little curve, or maybe because it's between the 2 eyes. He looks a little bit like he's thinking, So let's go back up to these little guys and give them some different mouths. I'm going to show you for today just some simple mouths. You can do the straight line one like we did before. As a general rule of thumb, if your mouth tilts up at the corners, like a U, it's going to look happy. If your mouth tilts down at the corners, it's going to look sad. You can do a little, like, maybe it's breathing or singing, like going, ah. You can also do a bigger one. When you draw the mouth, you could make it boxy. You can color it in if you want. You could make it like a blob and then do a little separate part at the bottom for the tongue. And if you want to, you can color the part that's supposed to be like the back of the mouth to make it stand up or stand out, pardon. You can do just a traditional frown. You can do a straight line and then stick a tongue out of it anywhere. You can do like a big long one with the tongue in the middle, or you could do the big long one with the tongue off on the side. Maybe play around where you draw 3 that are all the same but stick the tongues in different places, because that gives them a different look too. You can do the same thing by drawing the mouth line and then adding teeth that you want. Like this guy now has like hippo teeth. But I think this one I'm going to give, let's see if bunny teeth work. That one looks more like bunny teeth. In fact, that one looks so much like bunny teeth, I'm going to give this one bunny ears. You can turn them into animals pretty easily just by sticking some ears on. Like, what if we want this one to be a bear? Inside of the ear, big ear. Inside of the ear, big ear. And let's make this little singing one a singing kitty. So pointy ear, inside, and then maybe I'll just add a little whiskers. See? Once you get the basics, you can kind of get out of hand with your doodling. We have a couple more to add some mouths to, and then hopefully this will give you some ideas to just go get into some nice, relaxing doodling. This could work really well if comics are something you like to make also, because finding a way to show emotion without much drawing in those little tiny spaces that you have for people's faces is a good tool. Let's see, what other mouths? I'm going to look at my ideas page to get some thoughts for that. Oh, the squiggle ones. Let's do some squiggle ones. We go, so like loopy squiggles up and loopy squiggles down. Definitely looks happy and definitely looks sad. It's interesting how that up and down thing works. You can do the same thing with zigzags instead of loopy squiggles. I'm going to show you something. See how this one goes out to about where the eyes are? Look at how it changes if you put it just not quite as far out. It really changes the feeling of it, huh? You could also do the zigzag squiggles pointing down, and that looks like very cross to me. Oh, and we can add in the simple dot eyes. I'll give you that one for today too. There's a start for now. In our Google file, I put for our classroom copies of my eyes page that I made and my mouth page that I made. So if you want to look at it for inspiration, you're welcome to. Experiment with this idea and see what you can create. Have a good day. If you guys are into this, I'll post some more videos of different mouths and face styles that you can try also. So just let me know if you'd like some more. Bye.